Let us take a look at your project number 2. The project number 2 is going to be an individual project. This is the only individual project of the semester. Project number 3 and final project would be team projects again. So for this individual project, why do I want to design this project and what is the purpose of this project? So the first one is going to make sure everyone is familiar with your team's database design. In your project number 1, after your revision, every team should have a good to go ER diagram and draw by computer. At this stage, probably some of you guys have devoted yourself to the project more than some other team members. And this is a good time that I want every single one of you be familiar with your team's design. So based on that ER diagram, I want you guys to perform some specialization or generalization to create some superclass and subclass relation. And of course, by doing so, you will be able to understand the purpose of the local attributes as well as the local relationships. To justify your design, each subclass should have some differences with their superclass. So what is the project description? What is it that I want you guys to do? This is basically what I want you guys to do in a very simple way. Based on your team's revised ER diagram that you submitted in project number 1. So remember, this is supposed to be your finalized ER diagram. Based on your project number 1, I want you guys to create your own ER diagram. So every team member should do differently. You may use specialization to create new subclasses or use generalization to develop new superclass. So it would be very freely. There's no restriction of how and what you can do. You can create your own ER diagram. The only requirements is that your ER diagram should have at least 2 superclasses and 5 subclasses. This is the minimum, okay? So if you look into your design, you can easily find 3 classes, 3 entities that can be generalized. And you can do that and you will be able to create 1 superclass of that. In that case, you have 1 superclass and 3 subclasses already. Just find another one to do similar things, or you use specialization, looking into 1 entities and then try to subdivide that into subclasses. This project is supposed to be a very simple one. If you do it right, you probably need to spend 15 minutes only. So try not to make it too complicated. Try to look into your design and then understand what you want to do. Remember, each subclass in the design should have at least 1 local attribute or local relationship to justify the design. If all of your subclasses are exactly the same with each other, then there is no reason to do the specialization or generalization. The evaluation is based on your design, and these are the things I'm going to look at. Correctness, what's your design? Have you represent your superclass, subclass correctly? Is the local attribute or local relationship justifiable to create such a superclass and subclass? Readability, of course, I need to be able to read your design. You will see that you don't have to use computer to generate ER diagram. Your ER diagram is required to use computer generation. However, for this project, you can handwritten. However, remember that if you try to handwriting your ER diagram, readability is something I'm going to pay attention to. So if you use handwriting, make sure I can read it. And of course, if you choose computer to do that, it is easily satisfy the readability problem. Creativity. Is it creative? Is it interesting design? That's something I want to pay attention to. And complexity. Like I said, I have minimum requirement of 2 superclasses and 5 subclasses. If you give me something more complicated, or you have some subclass, not only they have the local attributes, but also have local relationship that would make things much more meaningful. So all of these are my evaluation matrices, and I do include a rubric to see how I'm going to grade your project. So what you need to submit requires 2 things. The first one is the original ER diagram that your team submitted in the revision of Project 1, so that I can know what is the original ER diagram looks like, and of course your EER diagram. The due date is going to be given in the Blackboard, and remember, this is an individual work, so everyone should submit your own work.